Hi everyone! Today we are going to be continuing to look at word problems. Our star words for today are subtraction, total, more, fewer, most, difference, altogether, and how many. So see how many of those words you can spot throughout today's lesson. Let's start with a power-up to warm up those brains. Today's power-up is a challenge. We have a table and the table shows us some shapes. Each shape represents a number and we've got to figure out what numbers are represented by these shapes. The table tells us that a star and a circle when added together make 12. A circle and a circle when added together make 14, and a square and a circle when added together make 16. See if using the information in the table you can work out what number the shapes represent. Pause the video now and have a go at this. Have you done that? Fantastic. I will now show you what the answers are. I started by looking at this line here. So if it has two circles that make 14, the two circles must represent the same amount. So I thought of what is half of 14, and I knew that half of 14 was 7. Therefore, if we add 7 and 7, it would make 14. So I found out the amount of the circle. Then I looked up the top here. I already know the amount of the circle is 7, so that will help me with what the amount the star represents. If they equal 12 and the circle is 7, I needed to find the difference between 7 and 12. And I did this by counting on my fingers. So I had 7 in my head and then I counted on to 12. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The difference between them was 5. So the star must be 5. Then I looked at the last line here with the square and did the same thing. If the circle is 7 and when it adds together with the square it makes 16, I needed to find the difference between 7 and 16. So I'll put 7 in my head again and this time count on till 16. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Can you see how many does the square represent? Fantastic. The answer was 9. Well done if you got those answers. Okay, let's discover today's learning. If you remember from yesterday, we're working on word problems. That means we don't have a number sentence there already to help us, and we need to use the information to try and find our very own number sentence. Let's read the question and look at the picture to see what information we've got already. Our question says, how many ants are there in total? So here we've been given no numbers at all, and we need to use the picture instead to help us create a number sentence. I can see on the log here there are some ants, but we're going to need two numbers to add together. Can you spot a way that we can sort the ants into two different groups? Well done, I spotted that as well. The ants have been put into groups of ants with leaves and ants without leaves. This way we can use this to help us create our number sentence. Let's check how many ants with leaves there are. Can you count with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8 ants with leaves. Now let's see how many ants there are without leaves. Can you count with me? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 ants without leaves. So our numbers for this number sentence are going to be 8 and 4. Now we need to use the information again to see if we're going to be adding or if we're going to be taking away. Listen again and see if you can spot the word that will tell us what we need to do. How many ants are there in total? Did you spot the word that's going to help us? Fantastic. That word is in total. If we're finding out how much there is in total, that means we must be adding because we're seeing how many there are all together. So we've got 8 ants with leaves, 4 ants without leaves, and we are adding. Let's see if we can make a number sentence with this information then. Fantastic. 8 plus 4 equals something. Now we've got our number sentence, we can work out the answer. And today we've got a number line to help us. So if I need to find 8 plus 4, the first thing I need to do is find 8 on my number lines. There's 8. Now that I've found 8 on my number line, what do I need to do? Fantastic. I need to add 4. So let's have a think. If we're adding, what happens to the number? Does it get bigger or does it get smaller? Well done. If we're adding, that means our number gets bigger. So if we want the number to get bigger, are we going to move forwards or are we going to move backwards on our number line? Brilliant. We're going to move forwards. So let's jump forwards those 4 jumps. Are you ready to count with me? 1, 2, 3, 4. Those were our 4 jumps. What number have we landed on? Well done. We've landed on the number 12. So our answer to our question is 12. Okay, let's do our next question. Our question says there are 19 slugs inside the log. How many more slugs are there inside the log than on the log? So just like before, we don't have a number sentence to help us here. So we're going to have to use the information to create our own. Now, see if you can spot what we're going to need to use to find the numbers in our number sentence. Did you spot them? Fantastic. Let's check to see if you're right. So, in my question itself, it tells me there are 19 slugs inside the log. So I know that's an important information that I'm going to use. Here is 19. Now, for the next number in our number sentence, we don't have a number in the question, so we need to use the picture to help us. And we're going to see how many slugs are on the log at the moment. So, are you ready to count with me and find that next number? Brilliant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we know there's 6 slugs on the log and 19 slugs inside the log. Now listen again to the question to see if we need to add, take away, or find the difference to work out this answer. Listen carefully and spot those important words. There are 19 slugs inside the log. How many more slugs are inside the log than on the log? Did you spot the important information in that question? Well done. I spotted it too. Here, the important information is how many more. If we're trying to find how many more slugs there are inside the log than on the log, that means we're going to be finding the difference. And the way that we find the difference is we can either count the jumps in between the 2 numbers or take away. I'm going to take away. So I'm going to need to do 19 take away 6 to find out how many more slugs are inside that log than on the log. So now I've got my number sentence, I need to work out the answer. Here we're doing take away. So let's have a think. If we're taking away, what happens to the number? Does it get bigger or does it get smaller? Well done. The number is going to get smaller if we're taking away. Now, if we're trying to make the number smaller, which direction do we need to go on the number line? Are we going to go forwards or are we going to go backwards? Brilliant. If we're trying to make the number smaller, we're going to go backwards. So let's start by finding 19 on that number line. There it is. Now we need to go backwards. Remind me, how many jumps do I need to go backwards? Amazing. I need to do 6 jumps backwards. So you ready to count that with me? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've done 6 jumps backwards. What do I need to do now? Brilliant. I need to see the number which I've landed on, which is 13. So the answer to this question is 13. Right, let's think together to do another one. Listen to the question carefully and see if you can spot the important information. There are 14 bees in a hive. 6 bees fly away. How many bees are there left in the hive? So let's start by finding the important numbers that we're going to need to make our number question. Can you spot the important numbers? Well done. The important numbers are 14 and 6. Right, now we need to see if we're going to be adding or taking away. Listen again and see if you can spot the important information and those important words that will help us to tell us what we need to do. There are 14 bees in a hive. 6 fly away. How many bees are there left in the hive? Did you spot the important words there that are going to help us? Fantastic. I spotted them too. Here the important words are fly away and left. If bees are flying away, that means some are going to leave and the amount's going to get smaller. And if we want to see how many are left, then that means some have gone. And again, the number's going to get smaller. So if the amount's going to get smaller, are we adding or are we taking away? Brilliant, we're going to be taking away. So let's use that information to create a number sentence. Can you tell the person you're with what number sentence we could do? Well done. Our number sentence is 14 take away 6. Now we've got the number sentence, let's work out the answer. So remind me, what's the first thing I'm going to need to do? Amazing. I need to find 14 on my number line. Now what am I going to have to do? Brilliant. I need to count backwards 6. And the reason I'm counting backwards this time is because our question is asking us to take away. So the amount needs to get smaller. Right, are you ready to count 6 back with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are our 6 jumps. What do I need to do now? Brilliant. I need to see what number it's landed on. And it's landed on the number 8. So the answer to my question, 14 take away 6, is 8. Right, let's do one last one. This question says, how many spots are there altogether? The first thing we're going to need to do is find the numbers for our number sentence. So see if you can spot the numbers that we are going to be using. Have you done that? Incredible. I will show you now the important information that we need to get the numbers. Here, the important information is how many spots there are. And to find out how many spots there are, we're going to need to use the picture to help us. Let's find out how many spots there are on this first ladybird. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 on the first ladybird. And how many are on the second ladybird? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 on the next ladybird. So the important numbers are 6 and 8. Right, I'll read the question to you again and see if you can spot the word that's going to tell us if we need to add or take away. How many spots are there altogether? Did you spot the word that's going to tell us what we need to do? Well done. The word that we're looking at is altogether. If we're finding out how many things there are altogether, that means we are adding 2 different amounts and seeing how many there are in total. So we know there were 6 and 8 spots on the ladybirds, and we now know we're adding. Do you think you can tell the person you're with what number sentence we could create from this? Well done. The number sentence is 6 plus 8. Right, now let's work out the answer. What's the first thing I need to do? Brilliant. The first thing I need to do is find 6 on my number line. Now, if I'm adding, do I need to go forwards or backwards on my number line? Well done. I need to go forwards because the amount is going to get bigger. How many jumps am I going to do? Well done. I'm going to do 8 jumps forward. Right, are you ready to do that with me? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. I've done my 8 jumps forward. What is the answer? Brilliant. It landed on 14. So the answer to my question is 14. Your task for today is to look at these questions and spot the important information. Read it really carefully to see if this is an addition or a subtraction number sentence. I've done the first one for you. Here I spotted the important information 15 and 3, and I spotted the important word more. That told me that we must be adding. I then worked out the answer to the question. 15 plus 3 equaled 18. When you do this today, you can use whatever you want to help you. If you find it easier with objects from around your home, you can use those to help, or you could use pictures or a number line. Whatever you find is the best way for you, you can do. Have a look at the questions now that you're going to be answering. I'll move along the screen slowly so that you can pause the video at each one to read the questions. Your challenge for today is to look at this question here. The girl has 17 stars in this blue box. 12 of the stars are removed, and you need to find out how many are left in the box now. Once you've done that, you can answer the next part of the question. Here it says, there are also 12 circles in the box. How many more stars are there than circles? See if you can work out those two questions. Don't forget to send a picture of your incredible work to your teacher. Well done for your maths work this week. It has been amazing. Have a lovely rest, and I will see you again next week on Monday. Bye!